Max, congratulations. Home runs 200 and 201 today. You had 4 entering this game. What changed today?
Well, on the one, I finally hit it fair. I think I've hit about 10 of those balls this year that have been fouled by about 3 or 4 feet. So finally kept one of them fair. Just trying to get the ball up in the zone. Know they were going to, throw a lot of soft stuff, and just got some good swings off.
End of spring training 2017, you get released by the Oakland A's. Now you're 8th on the Dodgers' all-time home run list. If I had told you all this was going to happen back then, what would you have said?
I'd have thought you were crazy. It's definitely a blessing. I'm honored to have been able to hit as many home runs as I have wearing a Dodger uniform. Hopefully I got a lot more in me, and hopefully we got a lot more wins like today in us.
Max, congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks.
Joe, back to you.
World Series rematch has been all Dodgers so far. They win last night, and they pummel the Yanks tonight on baseball night in America. A 21-hit attack. Sunflower seeds flying everywhere, and yeah, the Dodgers love it, LA. And the warm day has turned into a cool, beautiful night, and the Dodgers feeling pretty good. Usually do when you score 18 runs on 21 hits. Poppy's got the dance going. Feeling good right now. Welcome to the postgame show. Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So this was a whitewash. Dodgers had 5 home runs. You name it, they did it. Biggest takeaway so far from this World Series rematch, Al?
Yeah, just a few, KB. Not much from the game, but it's obvious the best 2 players and most exciting players in the world are Ohtani and Judge. The American League is the JV. The National League is the varsity. And the title, fellas, has to come through LA.
Well, 2 games, and it's like it has been just definitely a beat up. And if you want to face this Dodgers, especially now that they have pretty much 14 players in the DL as of right now, and you still can't beat them, you better fix something. You got to figure something out, D.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, the depth of the Dodgers. The National League is a superior league than the American League right now, and you never know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. It might not be the same 2 teams once we get into August and September, but as it stands now, the Dodgers have the better team.
Couple of notes. Freddie Freeman. So I know Max Muncy drove in 7. He was the big star, a couple home runs. But Freddie Freeman, just a couple more knocks. He's batting a cool 374. And you mentioned Judge in defeat. Guy's ridiculous. 3 more hits, 2 home runs. He's now batting 398 on the season as we go to June.
And keep in mind, Kevin, he's doing this as a power right-handed hitter who necessarily doesn't fly down the line. So he's not getting Ichiro-shaped hits. And he's facing 70% right-handed pitchers. And I don't know what to say. I'm out of...
He's locked in. He's focused. These games are not easy to play in, especially if you're losing. You're down that many runs. But he locks in on every single at-bat. He's on every pitch. He's not chasing. Anything in the zone, he does damage. He got thrown out at second base trying to get a double because he hit it too hard. That's all we were talking about, is just how hard he hit it. But he's locked in. He's fun to watch. And that's why I said earlier, he's at a whole nother level.
Dodgers offense continue doing damage even if they have so many pitchers on the DL. Look out for the Dodgers with this offense. I mean, it has been unbelievable, and tonight, I mean, they show everything they got.
And KB, a little bit with Garrett Cole. You don't need him usually against pedestrian teams, but it's obvious when he's not in, you got to put in a pitcher like Will Warren. Tough matchup for him. You need a full stack to beat the Dodgers, and that may not be enough.
Dodgers offense so good the first 2 games, and tonight in 21-hit attack, 18 runs on a rout of the Yankees. We're here in LA. We know the Dodgers playing well as usual, and there's traffic, Big Poppy. You are our traffic reporter.
Oh my God, what people are still doing here?
I don't know, but
people,
they're here.
Go home.
Dodger tickets are not cheap.
It was over in the first inning.
How did Ohtani look today?
Show looked good. I think he threw 30 pitches, used his entire mix, faced some hitters up, down, and came out of it well, which is most important. I think he wishes his command would have been a little bit better, but really positive day for show.
Is this going to kind of be the progression? Is just upping the pitch count a little bit more every time right now?
I think so. Whether it's another 2 innings stint next week on Saturday or getting it to 3, I'm not sure, but that's kind of be the program.
Are those Rancho hitters used?
They're Rancho hitters, yeah.
Is there a time frame on this yet?
No. I think that if you look at the, I don't think, looking out, it's, you still got to get to 5 or 6 innings, so we still got a ways to go.
Obviously, in terms of velocity stuff, even if the command was
You know, I don't know. I didn't ask what the velocity was. I think a safe guess is somewhere in the mid-90s.
I know it's early in this process, but is there something that in particular, that whether it's the work that he puts in or what you're seeing, that's particularly impressive?
I think the thing that's most impressive is his ability to compartmentalize. I mean, he's essentially doing the work of two players, and still to go out there and perform on the offensive side. It's pretty remarkable.
Do you think there will be more like formal simulated games he gets to, and these pregame things where it's pitching and like simulating taking at bats or anything like that, or will it still look just kind of more like live BPs?
That's a fair question, and I haven't thought about that. I don't know if our rehab guys have thought about that, but that's, as we get down the road, that is something to think through. But we haven't got there yet.
Where do you think he is now in comparison to when he was doing this, getting geared up in spring training?
Considerably further along. I think in spring training it was velocity, it was just fastballs, really good command. But right now, to be able to use the sweeper, the curveball, the split, he's just using his entire arsenal. So also with today doing the up-down, he's certainly well beyond where he was in spring.
Anything new on Mookie today? Just how he's feeling?
It is a fracture at the tip of his toe, and so it's kind of what he can tolerate. And the last couple of days, it's been hard for him to even put on a shoe. So that's obviously why he's not in the lineup. But I still don't believe it's going to be an IL stint, and I think day-to-day is fair right now.
Do you know which toe?
It's his left toe, the fourth toe. Yeah, just what the doctor ordered. That was a good one. Now I can enjoy some dinner. But no, really good all around. I think, again, last night what we did offensively, we just took it into today. Beat the starter. I thought we did a good job of getting to the fastball, just kind of keeping the line moving, just taking really good at-bats, swinging at strikes, taking balls, and caught a big lead, got into the pen, which should help us tomorrow. And it's just been really fundamental, all-around good baseball. And landing to get through 6 and be able to pitch with a lead was also big to help us reset the pen.
A game that showed what you guys can be capable of, especially after the ups and downs the last couple of weeks here.
It does. The last couple of weeks has certainly been a grind with all the stuff we've been going through. But obviously, when you get the Yankees and fans get into it, and it just kind of infuses some excitement into the clubhouse, and guys showed up and given what these fans want, and it's been a fun series for us.
Does that kind of feel like a statement kind of performance?
No, I wouldn't say statement. I just think that it's just good to. I mean, that's a good club over there. So I'm just happy with the process and how we're taking the field and going about playing baseball.
Energy in the dugout when hit after hit after hit starts happening and you're on that kind of roll.
It's contagious. People talk about things of hitting's contagious and winning, losing, all that stuff. And, there's just guys that want to get up to bat, and the pitcher out there, I'm sure they feel it. And it's just that adrenaline, that emotion in the dugout, and the fans were in there from pitch one. So it's kind of like that playoff environment.
Game, but is this a confidence builder? Is this a momentum builder going forward too?
I hope so. We've sort of been playing middling baseball for a while now, and so maybe it took a club like the Yankees to get us to, reset and step our game up, and we've done that for these last couple nights.
Max need a day like this?
He did. Max is. It's been a tough one to start. But I just give him a lot of credit. He hasn't wavered from the work. He hasn't run from, the criticisms, and he's showing up every day to play and help us win a ball game. And he got his 200th homer tonight, so that was a milestone that I know he's proud of. And just the ability to get hits, which he did in the first inning, I thought was a big, huge hit, and to go backside with a changeup, to then hit a fastball in to keep it fair. So all around playing good baseball.
The energy you're looking for?
He did. We were talking about that earlier today is, Haesung, there's just something about him that that youthful enthusiasm, that joy. He's just happy to be out there, happy to be on the team. And guys feed off the energy, and he takes really good at-bats. He competes. Even taking that lefty, getting behind the count and fouling a couple pitches off and hitting a homer. Made a great play defensively that saved Landon to double up whoever it was, and to get Judge the throw, showed the arm strength there late. So played a really heck of a ball game.
Seen good defense from him, but did you think he had something like that outfield assist?
Yeah, I think that he's got a plus arm. It doesn't always show, but he's an all-around good baseball player, and giving him some runway, he's making good on and taking advantage of it.
More opportunity in June?
Yeah. He won't play tomorrow, but he'll be back in there on Monday.
You mentioned his energy. There's a language barrier there, but his teammates have still taken to him. How have you seen that happen? And
it's baseball, just that baseball language. I think that he's very respectful, very humble. There's a joy to it. I think that draws people towards him, and they talk. I don't know how they communicate, but they talk.
What have you seen from Landon recently?
I see that when he's aggressive on the attack in the hitting zone, he's much better than when he's nibbling and trying to be so fine. And it's not always easy to pitch with a big lead. And so it was good to see him. And I thought Mark did a great job with the pitching and the sequencing and kind of how to navigate that. But he's growing in the sense of getting his pitch count up. I think he's thrown 100 pitches a few times now this year, so or close to it. So he's given us length, and I'm just, a few days ago, looking at where our pen was at to now, looking at this stretch, it's guys like what Landon and the other guys are doing right now, helping us.
This was a national TV game against the Yankees. Is this extra sweet to be able to win 18-2 against them?
It's certainly sweet to win any game, take the political answer the political way. But, yeah, to beat those guys is always good. It always feels good to beat the Yankees. They're the class of the American League right now, and anytime you can beat those guys, you feel good.
Aaron, Will Warren labored out there, to say the least. What were you seeing from your vantage point about his stuff?
Just a little off command, and and then in the heart of the plate with some pitches that obviously a dangerous group over there, and really made him pay. And obviously, having to work as hard as he did through that first inning, just obviously not his day.
How close were you to getting him out of there in that first inning, 39 pitches?
Yeah, that was it right there. So he was last batter, hoping he could kind of settle in and give us a little something, but just obviously a rough one.
You mentioned the group over there. Just how much of a gauntlet is that lineup for a pitcher to navigate through?
Yeah, they're tough, and obviously they've swung it here good against us the last two nights, and we have another opportunity to go out there and try and hold them down a little bit and get after them tomorrow.
You said earlier before the game, and games like this can be beneficial. A game like this, is there a lesson to be learned for Will here?
Oh yeah, I think the one thing he's shown here early in his big league career is he has learned a lot from every situation, from adversity through some success. It's a hard game, and you're going to take your lumps sometimes, and we'll be better for having gone through that and grow from that. And he has all the equipment to move right through this and be excellent like he's been much of the season. So, it's no fun going through that. You have a day like this, but, it's part of the game sometimes, and you got to wear it. And, a loss is a loss. You turn the page and get right after it starting tomorrow.
What was the difficulty in trying to piece together the rest of the game to make sure you had enough arms for tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously, a challenge, having to go to, Leiter and Devin and Weave. You obviously don't like doing that in a game like this. But also you don't have real length because, Hedrick and Dalo are on back-to-backs. You you kind of want to try and keep a little bit of Lowe's length in play for tomorrow. So, obviously a challenge, but that's what the 162 brings you sometimes. Like, it doesn't always line up perfectly, and you got to navigate some tough moments and some tough games sometimes. That's part of it, and, we'll, just like everyone at some point, you kind of deal with a tough go at it, and you get to get after it tomorrow.
Aaron, just to follow up on that, do you need to make a move for tomorrow to protect yourself for some length, or?
Yeah, we'll talk about that here, post game here.
Was it George's decision to try to stretch things out there in the 6th?
Yeah, I think just ball off the wall in left center, and they kind of played it perfectly on him.